Hey there everyone, Spazzy Dragon here, aka Syndromes, and welcome to part 4 of our Piracy tutorial. Today we're going to talk about that little topic that we sort of started to talk about in episode 2, but then I realized that this might be one of those things we really need to talk about in detail. So, you know, the master question, the thing that every new pirate needs to figure out as they go through, otherwise they're going to ruin their own gameplay and experience and probably the experience of the other player they're interacting with. So how much do you charge a trader for piracy? So in part 3, the one that I showed you, like how to actually pirate on the server, as you already saw, I sort of took the very lighthearted approach and let the trader sort of decide how much they want to pay me. So I simply said, this is a robbery, how much are you going to pay me not to shoot your little face in? Okay, but that's a very valid approach, but obviously the more fun things for the pirate is to actually ask a concrete amount of credits. It's not required, sorry about that, it's not required, but that's usually how piracy goes. So, again, everything that I'm about to say is pretty much from my own experience, and a couple of things that I've noticed along the way. Obviously, I play a lot of unlawful characters, I have a lot of pirates, and at the same time I do have my own traders, I do have my own miners, so obviously I've been on both sides of the fence. So everything that I'm about to say comes from my own mentality, so how I deal with these situations might not be how you want to deal with them or how you see the game, so again, just keep an open mind. Okay, so before we begin, this is our average trader. Now this is how pretty much maybe half of traders look like. These are these medium transports for players who don't really want to get anything bigger than a capital ship, well, than a fighter anyway, and they're content just to make a medium-sized amount of money using medium transports that don't really need to, you know, put a lot of effort into making, so, you know, they're flying with these things. This is a Serenity medium transport. This guy's actually hauling slaves. It has a heavy armor upgrade 1. It's just the same ship that I use in my part 2 of the tutorial, and as you can see, in total this guy is rank 60. Now if we move to the PC next to me and open up the inventory screen, this guy has, would you care to guess how much money he has? Like, how much money would you ask this guy if you met him? I'll give you a moment, just look at his rank. It's a rank 60 trader, and he has a ship worth 40 million credits, by the way. He has a cargo hold full of slaves, he has a capital armor upgrade 1, and, you know, a bunch of transport guns. And he's rank 60. And you know for a fact that this ship costs about, well, 42 maybe-ish million credits to set up. So obviously he's not new. But if you would have asked him right now to pay, I don't know, 2 million credits, how much do you think he has right now? Well, if someone you actually guess that he has only 1 million credits on him, then you'd be right. This guy currently hauling these slaves with a ship worth 40 million credits has only 1 million credits on him. So if you ask more than that, then he will physically not be able to fulfill your demand. So obviously what that means, if I would have imagined this situation, if he jumped out of the gate and I was like, hey, give me 2.5 million credits so I don't punch your teeth out, something along those lines, well, then the guy's probably going to be like, sorry, I don't have that much, right, you know, sorry I don't have that much, and you're not gonna believe him. Look at it, he's rank 60, he is, like, you have, okay, I have no money, and right now I'm rank 52. I have no money. This ship costs 35 million, well, 32 million is to set up, and I don't know, set cash, spaz, 1500000. Okay, so now I have 2.5 million credits, but I'm still lower tier than he is. So how the fuck doesn't he have? Well, again, remember what I say in the second episode. Trying to figure out how much money does a player have, only judging from his rank, is very, very hard. You will screw up, and it just feels bad. Like, imagine if you were, like, in this guy's case, like, you think that he's telling the truth. He doesn't have more than that. But no, you asked for 2.5 million off, and look at all these slaves. He would get, like, what? He would get about 12 million credits if he sold this off on planet Malta to the outcasts. And you don't believe him. Dude, you have cargo worth 12 million credits. Yeah, stop right there. The problem is, he is going to probably get that money only by the time he actually sells these things off. So you cannot you physically cannot tax this guy for money he doesn't yet have. But here's the problem. Obviously, you probably already know we have a move cash and give cash function, which, well, draw cash and give cash function that allows you to, you know, keep your trading ships as low ranked as possible. And well, then that's their stupidity if they want to seem as low ranked as possible. Because again, I'm pirating this guy for 2.5 million credits for cargo that he's going to make 12 million credits. Now, as you can see, we're still in California right now, just below the plane, and he bought these slaves like in this next system in Pennsylvania. So in this case, I can see why the trader wouldn't want me to pay, wouldn't want to pay me, because he only traveled one system. He hasn't really lost anything. Now, if I try to pirate him right, I would, like, you know, one jump away from Malta, where he only needs one more jump to get that amount of money into his bank, where he can sell off his cargo and be rich, then yes, obviously, he's probably going to pay me. Like, there's a bigger chance. And that's just one of the few things we need to talk about. Piracy 101. The pirate is going to be more successful if he demands a fixed amount of credits depending on where the trader is and what he's hauling into which direction. So obviously, in our case, as I already said, the traders are lazy. You're technically taking advantage of a person's laziness. So in that case, if this guy was coming all the way from, say, Britonia, then he would be, at this point, more willing to actually pay me than if he was leaving New York. Because he hasn't traveled a lot, he hasn't yet, you know, invested all of that time and effort into moving his cargo around, but no. So, on average, a trip between two houses, for example, Liberty and Britonia, is about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how trigger-happy you are, how many NPCs you encounter, and what's your docking preference, for example. Some people sort of jump into the system, F3 on the gate from far away and just alt-tab and just do something else. This is called AFK trading, and it usually gets you killed, but again, that's, you know, the choice of the trader. But, okay. Let's talk a little bit about the pirates themselves. If you post a thread like this on the forums and ask, how do you do piracy, then you will probably get about 3 types of people. I'm not saying that all of them they have, you know, a equally split amount of opinions like this, but they are large enough to be considered 3 different groups. The first part of these pirates would like to say that piracy is a type of roleplay and should be treated as such. Like, it's not money making. This is not, you know, this is not mining. This is not trading. Piracy is roleplay, and so that you're pretty much after the interaction itself. So they will usually demand less money because they like the overall piracy encounter itself. They're not after the money. They're not money making at that point. So you will get people who are maybe asking like 500,000 credits or even less. And yet, at the same time, we also have pirate players who would say the complete opposite. The piracy is a roleplay encounter, yes, but piracy adds a sense of danger to the surroundings. If you are a trader and you're foolish enough, you're not careful, and you somehow got caught and got pirated, then you deserve to take loss. You deserve to lose a lot of money. So those are the players who would usually ask up to 50% of the profit, or maybe even 100% of the profit. Or in case of special cargo, for example, ores, then obviously they're going to maybe even ask you to drop everything so a friend of theirs can pick it up in the transport cell themselves. That's just something you need to worry about. And obviously the third group is pretty much the people who acknowledges both sides. And, you know, the thing about pirates on either of the, you know, well-defined sides of the, quote, well, morality meter, both of them have their own completely justified reasons to act like that. I can see why piracy can be viewed only as a type of roleplay, and that you're not required to ask a very large amount of money. But yes, at the same time, I do understand that without pirates, without that threat of being pirated, trading would be boring. I understand just how annoying it is to get pirated, especially if the pirate is not really too good and he doesn't know what he's doing. Then yes, obviously the interaction is very bad and you're not enjoying it as a lot. But at the same time, if I'm trading or mining or whatever, evading pirates is part of the roleplay. It's part of the interaction. The pirate-trader interaction does not start when you meet the pirate. No, it starts when you undock from the planet. And you know that they're somewhere out there, like somewhere here, when there's like 80-something systems, that somewhere here there's pirates who want your money, want your cargo, and you know, some of these IDs actually allow the guys to engage transports as combat targets even without asking any money or cargo. This is the sense of threat that I love when I'm using my trader, and that's why I'm actually flying medium-sized transports. They can get away, they have countermeasure droppers so I can get CD'd and so on and so forth. It's fun. So it's up to you which side do you choose. Do you see piracy as a sort of roleplay, and that you sort of need to be, you need to treat piracy as a form of role-playing. You don't have to be, mean to the other player. Or you can remind yourself and the server itself that piracy is part of the danger, it's part of the charm that Discovery has. It has this space is dangerous sort of feeling, and that, these sort of pirates adds to it. Like, you're adding to the thrill of someone's day if you're pirating him like this. It's up to you. For me, I sort of choose the middle ground. I suppose I'm in group 3, so if I stop a trader like this, I'm going to obviously start role-playing with them, and then I'm gonna see how they role-play back. If they're actually good at role-playing, and if they, are sort of, the good sort of trader, like, they stop and they ask, it's not just like, how much do you want so I can go. No, like, if they roleplay with me, I'm probably going to let them leave with like very minimal amount of damage to their to their wallet. If, however, the guy is a complete tit, I'm going to pirate the fuck out of him. And I know a lot of people who do the same thing. Okay, so that's pretty much about the piracy ways. Now, let's quickly touch upon the subject that I didn't mention again, and that is the difference between regular cargo and ore. Now, you probably noticed some of these ores. You see niobium ore, gold ore, silver ore, platinum ore, and so on and so forth. Ores are a result of a sort of like a group project. First of all, they're not sold on any base. You actually have to mine them from fields, so you're spending a lot of time in the field mining them, and then either you transport this ore yourself to the destination, or you sell it off to some trader who then sells it off. Just for sake of the example, let's open up the map, and we have somewhere over here there's Tau 23. The niobium ore that you mine there is sold in Rhineland. So yeah, that's quite the trip. You actually have to go through Kasari, then to Frankfurt, to New Berlin, and so forth and so forth. Or you can just go through the Omicrons. Let's just say that the trip is actually very dangerous, and if you want to make a profit from piracy, then hitting ore traders is actually a very good thing. But in one of my previous videos, I don't remember which one it was, I think it was part 3, one of the members commenting on it said that he's usually not so, quote, nice to ore traders, that he usually asks up to 10 million or something from him, but we need to talk about that. Okay, first of all, ore is expensive. Like, you can spend a lot of time actually mining it up, right? Everything's fine, but you can sell it off for massive amounts of profit. For example, the ore prices ranged from 9,000 to 14,000 per unit. So a trader like this, with a cargo capacity of, wait, how much do he have? Oh, look at this. He has 3.5k. So let's just take our calculator for a moment. So that's 3,500 times, say, 14,000, right? So this guy's going to earn 49 million credits. Alright? So all of that profit, it could be his if he sells it off. So obviously trying to say that, oh, I'm gonna pirate this guy for 2 million. We need to take into account a couple of things. First of all, you don't know if this guy mined it up himself or did he buy it from someone. Miners sorry about that. Miners are actually not really that generous. When they mine, they usually ask for about up to, say, 50% of the profit. So technically, the guy is going to pay 25 million credits to the miner, right? So he already spent 25 million credits. So with this transport, as he sells it off, he's going to make a profit of only 25 million credits instead of 50. Obviously, that is still more than, you know, regular trading, so obviously a lot of people do this. They just haul cargo. They don't mine themselves, they just go to the mining field, find a miner, just tell them, hey, I'm gonna buy some more off you, and, you know, the guy just fills them up. Okay, so 25 million is very good, and this trader, this guy commenting, he wanted to ask 10 million credits. Okay, fair enough, but the problem is here. You have no idea whether or not this guy has already been pirated, or maybe he's going to get pirated along the lines. You're not the only pirate on the server, and you need to understand that. My own personal experience was this, that I bought 25 million worth of cargo. I knew that my profit is going to be 25 million credits, which was, you know, very good at the time. So I made my way. I got caught by a group of pirates, and each of them demanded me 5 million credits. So, you know, your cargo's worth 15 million credits. The fact that you pay the three of us 5 million credits is not really going to be a big deal, right? Okay. So that cut my profit from 25 million, 25 million credits down to 10 million credits. And then I flew all the way to, to Sigma 13, and I met a Corsair pirate transport who then told me to give him all of my cargo. In that single run, I lost 25 million credits. So obviously, you need to be very careful. I know that ore haulers are very tasty targets, and obviously the thought is that, hey, you have cargo worth 50 million credits. It doesn't mean that he's gonna get that much. You never know. And that's the thing. That's something you need to keep in mind. I'm not saying go easy on these guys. Of course not. These guys are trying to get the best amount of money for anything. You know, they need the challenge, right? But be reasonable. Everyone likes a reasonable pirate. It's what makes piracy encounters enjoyable for both sides. Obviously, there are players who usually play their sometimes play their characters, well, okay, usually play their characters as complete dicks, and obviously at this point, you might even be something along the lines like, hey, drop all of your cargo, right? Well, there's really nothing the player can do, so in this case, it's not ore in this case, obviously, he's hauling slaves, which is a regular commodity, but again, he did spend some amount of money to actually buy this sort of cargo. So what happens now that, okay, so he knows that he's close to imagine if this was one jump away from him selling this off, and you demand all of this, all of his cargo. And obviously the guy's upset. He just wasted about 20 minutes getting to the sell location, and you just do this. It's a huge dick move, and you're not going to be loved. You're technically not a good player if you do this. And some people even go as far as then to say something along the lines, and no, buddy, boy, shoot it. And make the trader kill his own cargo. Now, this is obviously just pretty much rubbing the salt in your own guy's wound, right? But, you know, it's what people do. And Piracy is, as someone did note, the Piracy can be a very fun roleplay for both sides, or, at the same time, Piracy can be a complete legitimate form of griefing. Whichever you choose is up to you. However, I highly suggest you think twice before doing so. As I already said before, Discovery Freelancer is pretty much 50% of the server and 50% of the community, and you want to be a good community member if you want to fit in, if you want to actually have fun on the server. Pissing people off like this is probably not the best choice, so if you do want to start do something with Piracy, make sure you actually learn from someone who's, you know, been on both sides of the trade. And, you know, don't be a dick. It's right there in the rules. Don't be a dick. And, yeah, that pretty much covers everything I have to tell you about how much you actually need to ask for from a, you know, trader. It pretty much is up to you. You need to guess, but you need to keep in mind just how things work. As I already said, this guy has a rank 60, but he has only 1 million credits on him, so just keep that in mind. Using the rank is never it's never a good idea. And, you know, that's pretty much it. That's all I can say right now. This was Spazzy Dragon, aka Syndromes. This is my Piracy tutorial part 4, and in the next one we're going to talk about figure out where to pirate.